Hello, learners. So, today we'll be studying human resource management. As we know, HRM brings people and organizations together so that both can achieve their goals. And it is defined as an art of procuring, developing, and maintaining competent workforce to achieving goals of organization in efficient manners. So, there are three basic fundamental concepts of HRM. Number one, that is, people working in any organization are regarded as valuable resources. So, implying that there is need to invest time and effort in their development is actual necessary things. And they are the human resources, which mean that they have their own special characteristics and therefore cannot be treated like material resources. So, the approach which focuses on the need to humanize organizational life and introduce human values in the organization. Also, the third fundamental concept says that human resources do not merely focus on employees as individual but also on other social realities, units and processes in the organization. So this include the role and the job a person has in the organization, the various teams in which people work, inter-team processes and the entity of the total organization. So, in a nutshell, human resource management is a subset of management and it has five main goals. The first one is to attract employees, to hire employees, to train employees, to motivate employees, and to retain employees. So, there are several steps under these under these attract, hire, train, motivate, and retain. So there are several steps further. If we categorize these one by one, there are several steps that HRM has to follow to function in a overall manner. So human resource information systems helps to facilitate HR plans, make decisions faster, clearly define jobs, evaluate performance, provide desirable cost-effective benefits. Uh, Now, when we go to basic the grassroots level to study the evolution of HRM, we have several theories which led evolve HR. The first one was classical school theory, uh, which says that there are traditional or classical management focus on the efficiency, and in which there is bureaucracy set by Max Weber, scientific management by Frederick Winslow Taylor, administrative management by Henry Fayol, in which he has given 14 principles. Now another theory which is known as human relation school, which focuses on human aspects of the organization. In that, there was a Hawthorne studies by Professor Elton Mayo and associates, the acceptance theory of authority by Chester Barnard. Now, the third one school is Human Resources School, which emphasizes on motivation and leadership techniques, and in which there is system theory and contingency theory. Then the latest, which is Human Resource Management School, there it was developed in the US in 1980s, in which the employees were considered assets, not cost, and it evolved as a competitive strategy of all modern business organizations. So there are several model of human resource management. We'll be looking each of them one by one. The first one is Fombrun Trichy Devana model. It actually interrelates and the coherence of HRM activities. There are main four functions in which there is selection, appraisal, development, and reward. This Fombrun model is incomplete as it focuses on only four functions of HRM and ignores all environmental contingency factors that impact HR functions. Now, the another one is Harvard model, and this model acknowledges the existence of multiple stakeholders within the organizations. And the analytical framework of this model consists of six basic components, namely situational factors, stakeholder interest, HRM policy choices, HR outcomes, long-term consequences, feedback loop, via which the output flows directly into the organization and to the stakeholders. The another model is CAST model. This model emphasizes on the assumption that HR manager has specific strategies to begin with demand certain practices, and when executed will result in outcomes. So the model actually has six sequence of components. They are logically connected with each other. The first one is HR strategy, followed to which HR practices, then HR outcomes. There after it is behavioral outcomes, performance results, and financial consequences. There is Warwick model, in which there are five certain elements around that revolves around this Warwick model. The first one is the outer context, in which there is macro environmental forces works, followed to which is inner context, that is firm specific or micro environmental context, then business strategy content, and then HRM context and HRM content. So the strength of this model is that it identifies and classifies important environmental influences on HRM. It takes cognizance of business strategy and HR practices, the external and internal content in which these activities takes place and process by which such changes takes place. The other one is story model. Uh, it actually says that um, there is four categories. The first one is beliefs and assumptions. The another one is strategic aspect. Then line management and key levers. This model was given by John Story, and he identified there are 27 difference between personal management and HRM. And the other one is the 10C model. The 10C model is actually regarded as an all-encompassing and pragmatic HR model. There are 10 essential principles of this 10C model, that is comprehensiveness, credibility, communication, cost effectiveness, creativity, coherence, competence, control, change, and commitment. So then there is diagnostic model of HRM. This suggests that before you choose HRM program, you should examine the nature of the employees, the external, internal, environmental influences on the organization, and organizational factors. Various factors in the external environment, such as government regulations, unionization of the employees, the competitive pressure, and the strong influences on the HRM function. The last one is action research model. It was developed by Kurt Lewin in 1940. So the action research is the process of systematically collecting research data about an ongoing system relating to some objective, goal, or need of that system, feeding the data back into the system, taking actions by altering selected variables within the system based on the data and on the hypothesis, and evaluating the results of actions by collecting more data. Thus, it is continuous process in cycles. The action research refers to searching of action within an objective to help organization achieve its goal. So now we'll talk on the modern concepts to HRM. So we can see that there is a community concept, the factor of production concept, the paternalistic concept, the humanitarian concept, the behavioral human resource concept, the emerging concept. We'll discuss them one by one. So, the HRM activities that probably have been performed since ancient times. The pioneering work of Peter Drucker, Douglas McGregor in 1950s laid its formal foundation, and thus the modern concept of HRM has developed through the following stages. These are the following stages that has been mentioned in the bullets. We'll discuss them one by one. The community concept. So before industrial revolution, the guild system was beginning of the personal management. Guild was a closely knit group which concerned only with selecting, training, rewarding, and maintaining workers. Then there was the factor of production concept, where the employees were considered as factor of production, just like land, materials, and machinery. Then there was paternalistic concept, in which employees organized together on the basis of their common interest and formed trade unions to improve. There was humanitarian concept. It is based on the belief that employees had certain inalienable rights as human beings, and it is the duty of the employer to protect. Then there was the behavioral human resource concept. It aimed at analyzing and understanding human behavior in organization, motivation, group dynamics, organizational climate, organizational conflict, and so many became popular under this concept. Employees began to be considered as valuable assets of an organization. The last one is the emerging concept in the modern concept to HRM. So, this emerging concept says that now employers are considered as partners in the industry. They are given share in the company's stock membership. Slowly and steadily, HRM has emerged as a discipline. Now we'll discuss objectives of HRM and functions of HRM. So the primary objective of HRM is to ensure the availability of the competent and willing workforce to an organization. Apart from this, there are other objectives too. Specifically, HRM objectives are fourfold. The first one is societal objectives. In this, the societal objectives are socially and ethically responsible for the needs and challenges of the society. While doing so, they have to minimize and negative impact of such demands upon the organization. The failure of the organization to use their resources for society benefits in ethical ways may lead to restrictions. Then there is organizational objectives. The organizational objectives recognize the role of human resource management in bringing about organizational effectiveness. Human resource management is not an end in it itself. It is only a means to assist the organization with its primary objectives. Then there is functional objectives. Functional objectives try to maintain the department's contribution at a level appropriate to the organization's needs. Human resources are to be adjusted to suit the organization's demands. The department's level of service must be tailored to fit the organization it serves. Then there is personal objectives. Personal objectives assist employees in achieving their personal goals, at least insofar as these goals enhance the individual's contribution to the organization. So, the personal objectives of employees must be met if they are to be maintained, retained, and motivated. Otherwise, employee performance and satisfaction may decline, giving rise to employee turnover. Then, functions of HRM. So, the functions of HRM are not unanimous in nature, as concept of HRM is still in evolving stage and practices. They in 2006 introduced five basic functions of HRM, namely managerial function, which is planning, organizing, directing, controlling. Then operational function, in which HR planning, HR acquisition, compensation, safety, employee relations, and HRIS. Then there is developmental function, which is includes HR policy, career planning, training, performance management. Then there is analytical function, which includes HR consultation, HR research, HR reform. Then it is strategic functions, which includes HR strategy, HR outsourcing, HR mergers and acquisitions. Now we'll discuss on new trends in HRM. So the continuous changes in technology, economic, social, psychological understanding and structures have influence on both human resources and their management. So the role of human resource management in organization has been evolving dramatically in recent times. Some of the recent trends in HRMs, as shown in the slide, this is impact. The first one is impact of globalization. So the HR department nowadays needs to ensure that appropriate mix of employees in terms of knowledge, skill, culture, adaptability is available to handle global assignments. HRM would be required to train employees on cross cultural sensitivity. Then it is diversity of the workforce. So the workforce composition is changing over the years. Demands for equal pay for equal work, putting an end to gender inequality and bias in certain occupations. And the breaking down of glass ceiling has been already been met. Now it is managing expectation of employees in the fast changing industries such as software, telecom, entertainment, pharmaceutical. The turnover ratios are rising fast, and if HR managers do not respond positively to employee expectations, the acquisition and development cost of recruits is going to mount up steadily. Now, the other one is changing skill requirements. So, the recruiting and developing skilled labor is important nowadays for any company concerned about if if it concerned about the competitiveness, productivity, quality, and managing a diverse workforce effectively. Now, how the next one is managing downsizing. So, how to how to manage the downsizing effectively is the pressure to remain cost effective has been compelled many a firm to go lean, cutting down extra fat at each managerial level. HRM people must ensure that people proper communication must take place during downsizing. Now, this is the continuous improvement programs. Companies strive to improve everything that they do, such as from hiring quality people to administrative paper processing to meeting cross customer needs. Now, here the HRM plays very important role in the implementation of continuous improvement programs. So it must prepare individual for the change. Then it is contingent workforce. Contingent workforce are individuals who are typically hired for short periods of time. As temporary workers are brought in, HRM will also have the responsibility of quickly adapting them to the organization. Then it is decentralized work sites. So the work sites get more and more decentralized. Telecommuting capabilities that exist today have made it possible for employees to be located anywhere on the globe. Then it is employee involvement. For today's organization to be successful, there are number of employee involvement concepts appear to be accepted. These are delegation, participative management, work teams, goal setting, employee training, and empowering of employees. So the next is to use of information technology, as we have discussed in previous slides about human resource management information system. So a number of computerized systems have been invented to help in the HRM, of which they are seen as simplifier of the HR functions in companies. For instance, the paperwork files are being replaced by HRMIS, which is Human Resource Management Information System. And then it is health and safety. The area of safety and accident prevention is of great concern to managers, at least partly because of the increasing number of deaths and accidents at work. And family work life balance is very important thing. Over a time, now HRM history, it has been a big debate about family work life balance. Employees have been on toes of the uh, employers to see if there could be justice done, and on the other hand, employers have been keen to minimize the effect of the same. The fact is, a happy family is equal to a happy workforce. So, this is it. Thank you.